Dr. Marcus Spears, and we got into kind of an interesting conversation about what makes a man cheat, and really, or a woman cheat. What makes somebody step outside of their relationship and take it to that place? And something that Marcus said that was very interesting, and you really sort of brought it down to a place that I can understand it, is that men being more physical and women being more emotional. A man, it doesn't matter how gorgeous your wife is, it doesn't matter how much attention you get, how much sex you get. It's normal for men to look at other women and wonder what it would be like.
Absolutely.
And it's a moral decision that you make as a man that I'm going to be faithful to my wife.
Totally. And you can't, listen, it's no hiding, for every man in the world that's a creature, a man, is you cannot look at beautiful women and not think about something from a physical standpoint. Right. It's not realistic to say that. I mean, you look at, pastors have eyes, politicians have eyes, men have eyes. I mean, that's the way we're wired.
You're visceral.
We're visual and physical beings. I mean, that's just how, that's what it is for us.
And in France, in societies in France, it's kind of accepted. Men have always had mistresses, or, you know, I mean.
Some tribes in Africa, men have wives. I mean, multiple wives. If you can afford them. Are there any tribes
where women have multiple husbands?
I don't know.
Never heard of that. I'd like to visit,
I bent back down in my seat when you said that.
So, but there's something that's interesting about a trend in women who are now more aggressive, trying to be more powerful, trying to be more sexy, and who will put up an aura that they're really not interested in marriage. They just want to have a good time. Do you buy that?
I don't really, because I think that bond between two people is probably what everybody searches for at some point in their life. Your work, my wife and my kids complete my life at the end of the day. And it's not, I mean, I played pro football, made a lot of money, hopefully going into TV, but all of that stuff, that'll be over with. You know what I'm saying? At some point. So, I mean, when it boils down to it, you want somebody to share that with. I mean, that's humanity to me.
And if you step out on that relationship, then like you were saying, then you feel guilty, or you feel, and it changes.
You change the dynamic of your family when you do that. Yeah. You know, and I'm one of those real honest people. Like when me and my wife first started dating, I was a maniac.
With her or everybody?
With everybody. Not literally everybody, but when I was in college, 18, 19 years old, I had no concept of what...
Oh, sure. Well, you're like that. You're the football star.
And that's what I'm saying. And you know, from that standpoint, it's hard to not do that. But when I got married, it was like, you know, it's still available, and I'm flying in cities all over, you know.
Is she still your best friend?
That's the key. Me and my wife, we partners.
That's it.
That's a gangster term.
That's right.
Shout out to Q. We partners.
And you know, feel free to chime in on our Facebook page too about this discussion, because it is so interesting. But speaking of football, Super Bowl, who are you rooting for?
I'm not rooting for anybody, but I do think Denver's going to win.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm for Denver.
I think Peyton's legacy is at stake right now. I honestly feel, not at stake, but I just think...
Who is a cuter quarterback? Who's the cutest quarterback on both sides?
That's not a question for me.
No, come on. I mean,
Courtney wants to know. Wait, Broncos. No, that's the Bears. Who's the quarterback for the Broncos?
Tell me why you think the Broncos might win it.
Because of Peyton Manning?
Well, that, and I also believe that there's more elements to them being a good football team than just Peyton Manning. I think a lot of the media is getting Seattle caught up on how good Peyton Manning is, and they forgetting about all the other guys on the team that can play. But, you know, look, both of these teams made it to the Super Bowl, so they are the two best teams in the NFL, and we'll find out Sunday. I just believe that this is Peyton's time, honestly.
Now, when you watch, do you watch for, like, certain defensive plays or certain offensive plays? I mean, do you watch it that way, like a player?
In the sports analyzing world, we call it watching the ball. You know, like everybody has a tendency to watch the game and watch where the ball flows. I don't. I watch up front, because my opinion is games are won and lost up front between offensive line and defensive line. So I watch that, and, you know, being that I played it, I kind of know what's going on. So I probably watch it differently than most people do.
What quarterback has won the most Super Bowl rings?
in
Has
the
anybody
history.
ever won 5? Terry Bradshaw won 4, didn't he?
I think he won 4.
Yeah, Troy Aikman won.
Probably. Troy won 3.
3.
And
But has anybody ever won 5?
I think Terry
I don't
might
know.
be. He
Somebody
might
Google
be.
that.
Sounds like some fun trivia.
I think it's a good trivia.
Okay, you saw him make firecrackers last hour, those delicious jalapeno things, and now you're in for another treat as Trace Arnold makes brisket nachos.
Where?
So good. That's when we come back.
Where are they?
They're outside.
Yeah, mommy.